Gavin. There were others in the mix, but I guess really Dara Calleary was the red-hot favourite.
There had been other candidates in the mix. There had been some suspicion about the prospects of James Lawless, a Fianna Fáil TD from Kildare. There had also been some speculation around the former Dublin Lord Mayor Paul McAuliffe from Dublin Bay North. But ultimately, Micheál Martin found it too hard to look beyond Dara Calleary, someone who he has demonstrably seen as being a minister of cabinet grade in the past. But of course, Dara Calleary resigning 2 years ago last week from his short-lived role as the Minister for Agriculture after being one of the attendees at the Oireachtas Golf Society dinner in Clifton, event which was not, as it was later found, to be in breach of the regulations at the time, which was nonetheless still widely seen as being in breach of the public health advice that pertained to COVID-19 at the time, advice at which Dara Calleary had signed off at Cabinet the day before attending that dinner. And that has really cast something of a question over Dara Calleary's reappointment. I've been speaking to the newly appointed junior minister just a moment ago, and I asked him whether he thought it was now clear that that element of his past was indeed in his past.
I'm very happy to serve, very honoured to serve. You just never know in life. I've learned never to anticipate anything, particularly in politics. Obviously, the circumstances I prefer they were different. Robert Troy is a good friend of mine, but he's left a huge amount of work for me to continue on supporting enterprise, particularly supporting small enterprise that are facing enormous challenges at the moment, and that's going to be my focus.
Now, I did press Calleary on whether he believes that the public has moved on from the events of 2 years ago. He says simply that he doesn't know, but now he will have such a big workload in his new role as the Minister of State for Business Regulation that he can't afford to spend too much time thinking about that, because he is now already looking at the budget, which is going to be signed off within the next 4 weeks. And of course, as the Minister responsible for business regulation, he does believe that there is a lot of work to be done to make sure that enterprise is sustained through the coming inflationary period. And it is a role that he has had previously. He has previously served as a Minister of State in this same Department of Enterprise in the last days of the previous Fianna Fáil government between 2009 and 2011. Interestingly, not much animosity across the political spectrum for Dara Calleary's appointment. One might have suspected that there could have been some issues raised around the circumstances of his previous resignation, but the Sinn Féin TD for the same constituency of Mayo, Rose Conway-Walsh, has been very effuse in Twitter in the last few minutes in congratulating Dara Calleary, saying it's good news for the West and that she hopes to work collaboratively with him to make sure that enterprise is able to get through the tough times that await.